Well, AngelList has really launched a new product for the Indian market, and they're really looking at this to change how angel investments are done, make it a lot more easier for people in the ecosystem. What's new about it? What is in store really? I have Ustav joining me to take this conversation forward. Thank you for taking out the time and joining us. So tell us what's new with this offering that you've really launched, and how do you really see this to be a game changer really?
So I think for the people, I'll just dial it back a little. Syndicates was a product which was done to create deal by deal SPVs on a very opportunistic basis. You find an allocation in a very hot investment round with top tier VCs, and you want to share that with your friends, family, co-investors. And those guys come together in one single check format that goes on the cap table. But for that, there's some friction in the sense that the syndicate lead, he or she has to open up a deal flow, write a deal memo of sorts. But with angel funds, it's like a natural progression, and that's what we've launched today. So it's like a standard venture fund without the bells and whistles of like a regular VC fund. You need to raise a certain corpus, have certain regulatory clearances, have a certain legal framework in place. So think of this as AWS of venture investing, angel investing with a hint of venture elements, basically. So you can now raise a small corpus from friends, family, people who've co-invested with you, who trust your track record as a GP or a fund manager, and give you some corpus for say 6 months to 12 months. So the feedback loop is much shorter than say a regular VC fund. You can be a sole GP, so you're the sole decision maker in this, and you can be more fast-paced and get access to private rounds, because now you don't have to disclose any deal information to your LPs or backers who would would like to see some information. So this is a more trusted way of scaling angel investing, and because people have, as an ecosystem, with how we're maturing, right? AngelList India has been around for 2 years now. We've done over 90 investments, and I think people needed this product because they said that, hey, we want the infrastructure to run a fund, but why are you not innovating on syndicates itself? So we said that we've done this in US, let's bring it to India.
Got it. But there's of course a lot of technology, of course, powering it. You're saying the legal hassles, the regulatory hassles that really come with the entire ambit of investing, that really sort of is done away with the offering as well.
Yes, so that's why I carefully mentioned AWS, because it scales with your usage. And technology is the leverage, right? We're investing in technology-based ventures. And if we're not using technology ourselves, then of course, I'm not saying that venture is not an art and a craft. It's always going to be an art and a craft. But the bundle of judgment and capital, which was always locked together, and thinking that the person who has the most money is always the best investor, that needs to be unbundled. And people who have good access, but still not deep pocketed enough, let's give them an infrastructure which scales with their deal flow and their access and judgment and their track record. So Angel Fund is a natural progression towards that.
Got it. But could you tell us what's really worked on the platform so far over the last 2 years in terms of trends that are standing out? What sort of startups are really getting backed, so to say, from the platform?
So, I've said 90 plus companies. We've done pretty much everything. There's a gin distillery from Goa. There's Third Wave Coffee Roasters. There's Blue Tokai Coffee. There's a lot of consumer brands which are, of course, hot now. So we've invested in them as well with DSG Consumer Partners and other top tier VCs. And of course, the overweight in our portfolio would be fintech companies. Open Bank is really one of our early investments. Bharat Pay, Ashneer is a close friend. We've invested in him early as well through one of our angel funds. And many other social commerce companies like DealShare and Mall91 are there as well in our portfolio. So there is appetite for all kinds of opportunities. There are late stage investors who are doing later stage tickets into much more mature companies like established brands like Blue Tokai Coffee. There are earlier risk taking angel investors who want to do small tickets across a multiple basket of opportunities. And because syndicates and angel funds cater to now all kinds of investors, active, passive, small ticket, large ticket, we really have a complete offering at hand. And on top of this, for the larger institutional LPs, we have a fund called The Collective, which was backed by Matrix, the folks from Matrix Partners, Kalari, BNext, Binny Bansal, Navroz from Falcon Edge, Rahul Mehta, DST. So we've really got institutional products as well and angel products as well. And angel funds now just sits right in the middle of that.
Got it. Interesting. But also all of this is coming by when the optimism as far as the startup ecosystem is at an all-time high, right? We've seen the last 6-7 months really be the best in terms of deal flows. Every day we sort of get releases that this startup has raised so much. But is the winter coming? Is what everyone in the ecosystem have been also discussing increasingly?
So Yeah, I mean, we're all hypocritical people in the ecosystem. Everybody who says winter is coming probably goes out and writes the next largest check of their career. So, to be honest, it's anybody's guess, right? And I think it has to be supported by the macro conditions. And if the metrics of the business are going, then larger checks are, of course, justified. But, of course, with all the hoopla around SoftBank and WeWork and Uber and all the failed IPOs and I mean not failed IPOs but at least IPOs on the decline in terms of their returns after listing, there is going to be some correction as well.
Which I was coming to, right? We've seen Uber and Lyft, of course, and we've seen how they've performed. And WeWork, enough of the saga has really been discussed. It's also sort of dented how SoftBank would also, which has really been the most aggressive investor here in India, also to sort of reevaluate how they would go about their business strategy.
So actually, just let's see. I mean, if you just go back to the say Uber scenario, who lost money really? Founders made money. Early angels made shit tons of money. Then even the later VCs, right, up to Series B or C, anybody who invested up till 2015 made money. Really, the latest stage investors lost money, right? So if you're investing at an angel stage, there are angel stage, or you're a founder, it's the best time to be a founder. You can experiment, raise risk capital very cheaply, and go out and build your dreams. And some people even end up taking secondaries, not encouraged, but still some do, just to ensure that the founder is involved. I mean, at least has some liquidity given his stage of the company. So angels will always have a place where they can cash out early before even like a later stage this thing. So we don't have to wait till the IPO. So I think it's the best time to be an angel, best time to be an entrepreneur, or best time to be an early stage investor. Of course, the risk of picking, I mean, the judgment required to pick the best companies or even have access to that sort of deal flow to get into those companies, a separate thing, which we're trying to solve for at Angel, is that let people see those opportunities first before they even lose out, because any given year there are probably 10, 15, 20 companies which make the entire year's venture returns worth, right? And we want to be at least in majority of them.